everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in this video we're going to be talking about all of my favorite holy grail brushes. I will say I have a good combination of different brushes in regards to brands. I will say most of them are those Sigma as well as Morphe. Neither brands are sponsoring this video and I just want to be very transparent and very clear about that. I will just say and be very honest with you guys, I do have a coupon code for Sigma. Again, they're not sponsoring this video. I've always had a coupon code for them and it's always been listed in the description box. So if there's anything that you want that is from Sigma, even the entire website, if there's anything you want, you can actually get 10% off using my code. All of it will be listed down below in the description box as well as the link and the code. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. Let's just jump right into the video. The first brush I'm going to be talking about is this bad boy, and if you guys have been watching me for a long time, you guys know I love this brush and I use it all of the time. This is the Lexi 131 mini angled brush. It's just so perfect for your nose contour. Like, I don't know if you can tell, it's an angular shape, but it's not too big, but it's not too small, and the bristles still have a little bit of movement. So blending out your cream contour on your nose and applying bronzer or like a contour shade to accentuate that nose contour is just so perfect. And again, you have a lot of control. So again, the way that I like to contour my nose is kind of bring it down the bridge here. Well, not directly on the bridge, but as well as kind of like get into this little socket here to kind of make my nose look a little bit smaller than it actually is, and this brush does that exactly the way that I need it to. So the next couple of brushes are actually from a collection. It is the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe collection. I bought her entire sets, like the full set of all of her brushes, face as well as eyes, and I think buying the entire collection is worth it. You know, it really gives you a good variety and kind of like makes you step out of your comfort zone of using brushes that you thought you would never use, and the quality of the brushes are really nice. I have washed these brushes so many times and none of them have like broken on me. The hairs don't kind of fall out or anything like that, so you do not have to worry about that. But I do think the brush collection, hers, is really good, as well as the, I think it's the Eyes Essential brush collection from Morphe. I'm going to link both collections down below in the description box, so if you want to purchase any, you can. But what I am going to do is kind of pull some of my favorite brushes out of her collection, and the first one is this bad boy. I didn't know I loved and I needed a brush like this until I used it, and this is the JH08 brush. I use this brush for everything. It's kind of like a little mini foundation brush to buff in the foundation, but I love using this for powder, honestly for anything. So what I would like is, I actually put concealer all over my lid. I would use this brush to blend out my concealer and buff it in. I'll actually use this brush to take a little bit of powder, translucent powder, face powder, and buff it on my lids to set that concealer. This brush is perfect for that no makeup day because you can really take the powder, the foundation, whatever you're using, and kind of stamp it and buff it into whatever you kind of like want it to be focused on. So this brush is not from the Jaclyn Hill collection, but it is the Morphe M500 brush, and again, this is one of those brushes I didn't think I needed until I had it. The bristles are so soft, and I love using this brush for, you know, like the new Laura Mercier Glow translucent powder that they have. So if you take a little bit of that powder or any type of like glow loose powder, you take a little bit of that and just kind of like dust it on the high points of your face. Again, for like a glow within type of look, this is the perfect brush to have. I also love using this brush for fallout. A lot of you guys think that I don't have fallout, but I do. It's because I always do my eyes after I do my base. So when I do have fallout, I'll take this brush. Because the bristles are so flimsy and you have a lot of movement, I'll just take the brush and just kind of like really quickly sweep it under my eyes. So wherever there is fallout, it just kind of takes it off. But I will say, if you are doing that, after you sweep every time, make sure you're brushing it off so your brush is clean. Oh, before I move on to anything else, I just want to share this one with you guys, and it's a brush that I kind of regret buying, and this is the Japanese brush that everyone was kind of raving about at one point. This is specifically for like bronzer and contour, and when I first bought it, I loved this brush. Don't get me wrong, I loved the brush. It is a little expensive for it being kind of like a drugstore brand, because I could get some Morphe brushes that are better than this, but I will just say the bristles on this is so scratchy. Like when I first used it, I loved it, but I had stopped using it. Moving back onto the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe collection, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 brushes that I really want to point out. So the first one is this one. This is the JH07 brush. Like I said, I love using this brush for contour because of the shape. It does have movement, so it's not completely super stiff, but that's what I love about it. And then it kind of comes up to a little bit of a point, but it's still like nice and rounded. So when you're doing your contour, it really kind of gets right in that socket area, so you have control over where exactly you want to put the product. But if you want to blend out the contour a little bit, you still have movement in your bristles to kind of blend that out. So that's why I really love this specifically for contour. For bronzer, on the other hand, I love this one. This is the Benefit Hoola brush, I believe. Again, I'll list it down below as well as the link in the description box. This brush is perfect for bronzer. Again, it's just perfect. The handle is a little bit short, but I personally don't mind that. I know some people do, but this is perfect again for bronzer. It just really disperses the product nice and even, and really gets that bronzer to warm up your face, as well as kind of giving you that nice bronzer on your forehead. And if you want to blend it out a little bit more, you just apply a little bit more pressure, and you can kind of see the bristles do have movement, which is really nice to kind of, again, make sure that bronzer is nice and blown out and blended. Okay, I have to talk about this brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection. Again, this is the JH40 brush. This is such a tiny little brush. Again, I didn't know how much I would love a brush like this until I used it. It's so small, but it still has movement. But again, this is one of those brushes. Okay, so do you guys watch the P. Louise like eye tutorials? Their tutorials, their technique is that they love to use small little blending brushes like this to really pack on that shadow and then lightly kind of blend out the edges, because small brushes like this give you a lot of control and it really packs on the pigment on your eyelid. I love using this brush for that technique specifically, as well as when you have a dark shade and you want to place it directly exactly where you need it to be. This is perfect for that, as well as kind of blending out and blowing out your lower lash line. Like, again, this is one of those brushes that can be used for so many different things, and it's a brush you need to have. So one of my favorite big blending brushes for like your transition shade is the JH30 brush. Again, it's such a massive brush. This is perfect for your transition shade, as well as when you're blending out your eyeshadows and kind of going down in regards to darkness. This is the perfect brush to pick up that transition shade again and kind of buff out those edges, because again, the bristles of it is absolutely perfect where you can really buff out and blow out those edges so nothing looks really harsh. Again, this is a staple that everyone should have in their kit. Okay, this brush right here. Let me tell you, if I ever lost this brush, I would lose my mind. This is the JH42 brush, and this brush I use for so many different things, but I use it specifically for highlight, and it's such a little tiny detail brush that it just gets exactly where you want it, but you can still like blend it out really nicely. So I like to use this brush specifically for my brow bone highlight. Again, it just gets right up there, so you can really focus the product exactly where you need it. For my inner corner highlight, this is the brush I always love to use, as well as my nose highlight. You guys know I love a good nose highlight, so I will pick up my highlighter, just kind of really pop it on that little ball of my nose as well as the bridge of my nose, and this does it perfectly, as well as my Cupid's bow. It's just a brush that you need to have if you love highlighting your face but you want it specifically in certain areas. This is perfect. So a brush I have been loving for my lid color, especially to pack on like shimmer shades, is actually this one. This is the Sigma Concealer F70 brush. Again, it is more of a concealer brush, but this is perfect for shimmer shadows, especially when you're wetting your brush, picking up those shimmer shades to kind of pop it all over your lid. This packs on the color perfectly and without it kind of looking patchy. I have 3 more brushes to talk about and I am done. And the next one is a NYX brush actually. This is the NYX 22 brush. I love using this brush to blend out my cream contour. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it is angled and it actually does have a little bit of a divot in the middle here. So there, honestly, I don't know if that little socket there makes a difference, but I love using this brush when I'm applying my cream contour. It just kind of blends everything out really nicely, and I have a lot of control over where I'm blending my cream contour so it doesn't get everywhere. This is a great brush and it's really soft, and NYX is really inexpensive, so good brush. Okay, this brush here, this is the Sigma large powder brush. This is the F20. I love this brush to set my entire face. Like when I take my face powder and just kind of like lightly tap it on, it's nice and big where it gets all over your face really, really quickly, but it's not too big where it's kind of overpowering. So I'll kind of show you this one. This is the, oh my, this is really, really dirty. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH01 brush. Like this brush is massive. It's way too big for me specifically. I mean, if you have a larger face, maybe this would be nice for you, but this is a bit too overwhelming for me to set my entire face. I feel like the product just gets everywhere. This one is a little bit more controlled, but it's still nice and big where everything gets done really, really quickly. So again, this is the Sigma F20 brush. I love using this to set my entire face. Last brush I'm going to be talking about is one of my favorite holy grail brushes, and it is my highlighting brush. This is the Milani brush. It doesn't really have a name or anything on it, but again, I will listen and try to find it and put it down below. But this is exactly like the, what do you call it? It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighting brush that everyone raves about. It's literally the exact same shape. The whole aesthetic of it is the exact same, and it's literally a quarter of the price. It just gives you so much more control over where you want to apply that highlight, and it really packs on and gives you an impact, so you get the most out of your highlight and you're getting the most pigment. So just kind of be mindful. Sometimes if a highlight is not working for you, sometimes it's the brush that you're using, but this one works amazing for every type of formula of highlight. And again, it's just one of those holy grail brushes, and I think out of all of the brushes that I talked about, this one you need to have if you love highlight. Alright guys, so this is the end of the video. Again, if there was anything that you specifically want to buy, everything will be listed and linked down below in the description box. Again, I will just say if there is anything on Sigma, honestly the entire website that you want to purchase, you can get 10% off using my code. It's going to be down below in the description box. I don't have a code for Morphe or anything like that, but I know there are tons of influencers who have like, I think a 10 or 15% off code, so just kind of Google it. And again, don't ever pay full price. Everyone probably has a code at this point. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! I need it all again, need it all again. 'Cause you got that thing I like.